Micki, welcome once again to Fiscal TV. It's always great to have you with us.
Good afternoon, Jim. I'm happy to be here. And I also want to thank everyone for being here to watch this episode.
Micki, I know you're here to talk about what we have in store for 2022, but before we get to that, how about sharing a few accomplishments from 2021?
Absolutely, Jim. This is definitely not an all-inclusive list, but just some highlights as we're closing the 21 calendar year. One of our major accomplishments this last year was the deployment of the final functionality of the project, and that was a significant accomplishment. So, not to compare, another accomplishment was the launch of the Fiscal Learning Center, which provided a one-stop shop for departments' training needs. We went through a monumental effort to review and update the learning materials in the FLC so that users would have the most current information when they open the system. We also improved the way departments can submit and track their tickets in ServiceNow. These improvements were directly from department feedback in our Imagine Fiscal sessions. We created new reports in Power BI, including the Agency Reconciliation Report. And we also created additional RPAs, or Robotic Process Automation, in coordination with the CIC RPA Working Group. And lastly, we launched work centers and many other enhancements to the system.
I know we've done quite a few segments on Fiscal TV with Ajita Nimkar, and they've all been really well received. Of course, talking there about the work centers. Okay, what do our users have to look forward to in 2022?
Looking back and seeing these accomplishments motivates us for this coming year. And there's a few things in particular that we look forward to releasing this year in training. One of those is the Fiscal Manual. The Fiscal Manual has been a request of departments for quite some time. I believe it actually came up in the original Imagine Fiscal session. This last Imagine Fiscal, we actually conducted a session dedicated to the manual. And as you can imagine, this is a really big effort. We started on the manual in this last year and are planning to release it in this coming year. So the manual is something to be on the lookout for. Another area in training that we are looking at improving is how we conduct training. And we are starting with something called the flipped classroom. The flipped classroom is a new learning concept that we're piloting with the labor distribution class starting in January. This is exciting as it's going to allow users to study the topic at their own pace. Users can also retake the material at any time, and the flipped classroom will actually be a set of curriculum including videos, assessments, and other materials. Once the curriculum is completed, the users will have the opportunity to register for a live question and answer session with Fiscal subject matter experts. This is a new concept that we're hoping will prove beneficial to users.
You know, that sounds pretty exciting, especially the part about allowing users to work at their own pace. I think they're going to really enjoy that. What about Power BI?
Yeah, so Power BI is the third area we're excited about. And we're looking to make expansions in the reports provided through Power BI. I hope that our users have had a chance to see the episode. I believe it was the last episode on Power BI. And there's a lot of great work that is done, and we're continuing our efforts in expanding reports available to users. So coming soon are reports for disaster cost recovery tracking, AR aging, PO encumbrance, income and expenses, and a purchasing data report. We're also exploring self-service analytics. And of course, these were all discussed in detail in the last Fiscal TV episode. So if you missed it, you can find the last episode in the FLC. This next year, we're looking forward to continuing to identify reports for Power BI with the CIC Power BI Working Group. And some reports next on the list are the Comprehensive Accrual Report. And then we're also looking at other reports that take longer to query from PeopleSoft. So those are areas I wanted to specifically discuss, but there are many other things we continue to work on.
Can you share with us what some of those are?
Sure, I can share a few of what we're working
Excellent.
on. Um, so one of the areas we're continuing to expand is the virtual instructor-led training. So we're looking to expand and create new topics for training. We're also looking at the year-end close process and improvements in BLL. And guardrails are another area that we continue to work on. So last year, we looked for opportunities to release guardrails into the system. These guardrails help to prevent keying errors that cause problems with transactions. And we're continuing to look for more opportunities for guardrails in this coming year. And of course, we continue to check in with our users and making sure we understand what our users' needs are. So I just want to thank everyone for making 2021 a great year. And I look forward to the improvements that we can make in 2022.
Well, Mickey, thanks so much for being with us and sharing that information. Sounds like 2022 will be a happy new year for all of our users. And once again, always great to see you. And thanks so much again for sharing all that information.
Thank you, Jim.